Welcome back. This is Will at Work. I'm Kevin. Today we're looking at Star Wars The Revenge of the Sith by Jakks Pacific. And you're also going to look at the game key feature and see how that works. So basically, we've looked at these other plug-and-play joysticks. And in the series, they're all about the same in the sense of they take 4 AA batteries. They have a joystick of some kind. In this case, now we have a thumbstick, which is more unusual. Most of the time it's a joystick, but we do have a thumbstick here and 2 buttons. And with the Jakks Pacific ones, I would say the vast majority have been unique games that only exist within these systems. So they are somewhat unique. If they were all emulators, I probably wouldn't even buy them because they would be bad emulators probably in something that runs on 4 AA batteries like this, other than really old stuff like a 2600 type of thing. But anyway, these later models included this game key feature, which essentially allowed these to take cartridges. So here we have a game key slot on the back, which has a circuit board type plug in there, port, whatever you want to call it. Yoda's angry. And this is a key. This has Yoda's escape and turret defense. Copyright 2005, Lucasfilm Limited. And this did not come with that. As far as I know, I didn't buy them that way. This one is copyright 2005 as well, though. So possibly there was some sort of pack-in, but I believe these games are going to be different than the ones that are built into this. So what we'll do is we'll plug it into the video side, see what is on this unit, see what the games are like, and then I'll put in this cartridge. We'll see how the menu system changes, or if I have to turn it off and turn it on, etc. And we'll see what these games are like, and kind of go from there. So kind of an interesting little thing. There were a dozen or so of these keys, I guess, cartridges. I'm not even sure there were that many. At least I don't see a lot of them for sale online. Perhaps there were a lot, but I don't know how many people went out and bought these keys versus just the standalone units. Probably wasn't that successful because Jakks Pacific eventually abandoned the concept. But all in all, it is a video game system because it's you got the main unit here, and here's your game cartridges. It's kind of crazy. Okay, all right, let's switch over to the video side and see what we got. All right, looking at the Star Wars Revenge of the Sith plug it in and play TV game from Jakks Pacific. Looks like we have a series of games here. We have Droid Invasion. How do you say that? Coruscant Attack? I think that's it. Grievous's Onslaught. Gunship Battle. Utapau Chase. Alright, so let's check out Droid Invasion. Do I swoosh Yoda's face with my thumb or anything? No, it doesn't look like it does anything. Obi-Wan must use his lightsaber to deflect the Separatist droid army's laser beams and save the Republic. Grab, drop power-ups to aid the fight. But watch out for thermal detonators. A is reflect, B is activate current power. Okay. Oh, look at me, I'm like a little... Oh, no, like a little Obi-Wan. Oh, this... Yeah. This is some high-tech shit. You gotta remember, these things are for kids. When I was a wee lad, I saw Star Wars, in the theater when I was young, but I was very young at that point. I was all of about 6. And, for me personally, at that age, it was not unusual to
Looks like you can deflect it depending on how centered you are. And so, you know, Star Wars was a big deal among my friends, and it was a big toy thing more than anything else. Like, the toy market kept Star Wars alive because, like, you couldn't rent it or anything. We didn't have rental movies. And Star Wars was popular enough that it did come back in the theaters, I think, in like 1980 or something. But you know, that was the only way you could see it, was to go to the movie theater, really. I mean, yeah, there were some people out there that might have had a early something, you know, like an early videotape player or an early laser disc of some sort. But for the most part, if you were just an average guy, you saw it in the theater and that was it. And then like the toy market kept it going. And toys would, you know, they could come out with toys for years. Like, it just didn't make any difference. All right, let's get out of this one. We kind of get it. So, let's do a Coruscant attack. This looks like another shmup. Oh, it's totally like a three-dimensional shmup. Whoa. It's kind of like a really hard version of Sinistar. Jesus Christ. I am not helping the cause. And, you know, so every kid kind of had some Star Wars toys. I mean, literally, like every kid. Like every kid I knew had some kind of Star Wars toys. And, you know, there were so many. You know, you would show your friends what you got. They got something different, etc. And then, you know, Empire Strikes Back came out like 81 or something. And, so that's just some really hard shooter. So Grievous's onslaught. Oh. Oh my god. It says it's a kid's game and I'm just getting my ass handed to me, but I'm also trying to talk at the same time. I'll use my excuses up. So, the problem is when Empire came out, I don't think I saw Empire Strikes Back in the theater. Now, I know that sounds crazy, but I was a kid, right? So I was 6 when Star Wars came out. And then, you know, it was 3 years later, so I was all about 9 or 10 or something when Empire came out. And we were living with my stepmom at the time, and there was all this talk that it was much more adult oriented. Like people were, you know, oh, it could have been rated R or something. Like it was going to be the first Star Wars rated R or something. You know, there was only been one, but you know, it's really adult themed or something. And if you think about back on it, you know, yeah, you know, there was some deeper stuff in it than the first one. You know, Han Solo gets frozen in the carbonite and all that kind of crap. But my stepmom took all that stuff to heart, and she wasn't gonna, you know, pay for me to go see Star Wars. And plus we were poor and there was none of that money for going to see movies almost ever, unless, I don't know, man, unless it was like at the unless like the library had one or something. What am I supposed to be doing here? Oh. I don't know what's going on. I'm supposed to pick these guys up? Get inside, men. Let's go. And so, I did eventually see it, and I might have seen it on like cable when cable first came out. It ran with Star Wars first. Like HBO was all big into Star Wars. Like, you know, it was constantly on HBO, and we didn't have cable, but friends of ours did. We had cable for like a minute at one point. Because my oldest stepbrother stole it. And that was like a thing you could do back in the day. You could steal cable. And so he did that, and then whatever. Like, I eventually saw it, but I don't think I saw it in the theater, to be honest with you. And then Jedi, of course, at that point, like, I don't know, I was like, what, 12, 13? I think it was more possible to go see it, but I can't even say 100% that I saw Jedi in the theater either. It's kind of crazy, but that's just how it was. And I was a big Star Wars kid. But yeah, I lived in a weird world. I got to jump over these things. Oh, it's like bump and jump. Ooh. I'll tell you, most of these games are kind of hard, not super fun. But, you know, I'll give them some credit for trying something different, but not great. Not great. But little kids, you know, they'll try anything. All right, so let's pop the cartridge in. Let's just leave it on, put the cartridge in. Let's see what happens when we do that. Ah, it registered game key. That's interesting. Sort of reset itself once the key went in. The key lights up with a little green circle. And now we have turret defense and Yoda's escape. All right, let's check out turret defense. Oh, it's like I'm working as one of those turrets. Oh, I gotta shoot these things? Woo! This is like a bad version of Missile Command. Looks okay, though. It's kind of got some good looks to it. Yeah, it was just, you know, but I may have seen it in the theater. Now, listen, I saw it years later when they re-released it and stuff in theaters, so don't be like, you should have seen it in the... I did see it. And it was probably better than seeing it in the mono sound in the 70s and early 80s and stuff when they didn't have stereo soundtracks at movie theaters and stuff. So the better experience was probably the re-releases anyhow. But, you know, what is going on? This game is crazy. Star Wars. Now, as far as the prequels go, not a fan. I find them really boring. I don't think George Lucas did a great job directing them. I don't think, like, I think I understood where he was going with the story that he wanted to tell. He didn't do a good job at it. Like, he just, you know, people blame, like, that dude that played Darth Vader or whatever, but you know, that poor kid, he had terrible lines, man. What was he gonna? He had like bad material he had to work with. Like, I don't know what that kid was gonna do with the setups that he was being put into. All of them, really. They, you know, just the fact that, like, you know, some of them were able to, you know, maybe ad-lib a little bit and make themselves a little more interesting. But really, they're really just kind of boring. And then the last three movies, the first one seemed all right. Like the first one seemed like it was going to go somewhere kind of. It seemed like it was going to go somewhere kind of interesting, and then like I got really concerned with the second film. I just didn't see where he was going with the movie. Like I felt like I was in like a Lost type situation again, where there were so many plot points now open that I don't think he could tie this thing up in a satisfying way. But you would have thought that it could have been pulled out, right? Star Wars, you're thinking these guys are spending $1 billion or something making this movie. I know they don't spend that much, but you're thinking on that level, like it's huge money. Like they're not just gonna just blow it on something stupid. But yeah, I don't mean to offend people that really love Star Wars, but I did not care for the final film at all. And well. Now, in terms of television, the television series, I won't even touch on the Ewok Village thing that existed for a season in the early 90s or late 80s, whatever that was. But I think Star Wars Christmas special. But The Mandalorian's pretty good. And some of the cartoons are pretty good. Like, Clone Wars, the movie, I guess, wasn't so great. But in terms of, like, the cartoon itself, people seem to really like it. And there were some other ones that came out that people also seemed to at least, they didn't say it was the death of Star Wars or anything. Let's put it that way. And now they got like the Bad Batch or whatever on Disney Plus, and surely they're going to make even more Star Wars things because The Mandalorian has been so successful for them, which is cool. But unfortunately, being Disney, The Mandalorian really walks the line, but it feels like Star Wars is always going to be just for children, and adults can watch it too. But I just mean, like, they're never going to have really heavy adult themed content because it's Disney. They're not going to try and push the envelope. They're going to try and keep it family safe. And that's kind of, it's kind of a shame because I feel like, you have this light and dark thing going on with Star Wars that, is telling a tale of, absolute evil versus, absolute good or whatever. And you can't really be absolute evil if your evil is a bit limited. You know what I mean? Sort of silly. Anyway, I've been playing this way too long. Let's reset and look at the last game. And it seems like when you have the game key inserted, the original games are not accessible. Alright, so this is some sort of platformer with Yoda. I remember playing Yoda stories on the Game Boy Color. I was like, it was pretty good. Star Wars video games have always been a bit of a mixed bag. You know what I mean? Like, some are good and some are terrible. Some are really good, though, and some are really terrible. I don't think this is awful. But it's definitely for kids. Like, it's definitely, it's dated now, and it's probably even dated when it came out in 2005. But really young kid play something like this, I can see it. All right, well, anyway, it's a keeper. They both work, so we've got to see Game Key in action. It does function, and Star Wars Revenge of the Sith is a good set of games. no longer available, so I'm not going to recommend you go out and buy one because you can't. Unless you want to buy one off of eBay or something. New old stock or whatever. Well, thanks for watching, and there will be more. We'll see you.